Welcome back. Tomorrow is Inauguration Day, and all eyes will be on the Capitol for the swearing in of the president. Security will be extremely tight in D.C. Law enforcement is surrounding the event with an unprecedented number of armed troops, Secret Service, and police units. And tech companies have also stepped up, taking measures to help make the swearing in of Joe Biden as safe as possible. Joining us now with more, Shelly Palmer, tech consultant and host of the Strategy Hacker live stream. Shelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we've talked about this often, the rise of technology and politics really making an impact in the last 10 years. But this is still new, how they're handling this. So what are they doing?
Well, as you know, the major social media companies have banned President Trump's account. They've cracked down very hard on all kinds of anti-violence or violent content and any kind of rhetoric that would incite violence. And so have they gone too far? Have they gone far enough? These are questions people are asking, but accounts have been canceled and content has been taken down, especially hate speech. But other tech companies have gotten in the game. Etsy has stopped selling certain kinds of merchandise. Shopify has started selling Trump merchandise, stopped allowing accounts that are selling certain kinds of merchandise. There are no military ads on Facebook. When I say certain kinds of merchandise, I mean pro-Trump, pro-violence, however that's defined merchandise. So it's been fascinating to see how the tech companies have tried really hard to quash the hate speech, to calm the rhetoric down, and the volume and velocity of some of the biggest conspiracy theories has dropped close to 70% since this has started.
And I want to go back to, you mentioned Shopify shutting down stores selling Donald Trump merchandise. You just kind of glossing over this. My question was, is that an overstep? What is your opinion on that?
You know, we are threaded through a very small group of very powerful tech platforms, and Shopify is one of them. Now, these are all private companies, and people are going to yell at me. They're publicly traded. That's an accounting term, publicly traded. That has to do with your tax status. These are owned by private citizens. The shares are owned by private citizens. They're private companies. The First Amendment has nothing to do with this. Censorship has nothing to do with this. These companies all have terms and conditions, and in their terms and conditions, they determine whether or not you are eligible to work on their platform or use their platforms. So the question is, if you use a platform like this and you're not going to be inside their terms and conditions, you can expect to be shut down. But are they clear about what those terms and conditions are? And where is that line? I think you ask a very important question, Bianca, and I'm not sure we have a good answer, but I think people were really scared on January 6th, and this might just be an overreaction and maybe the pendulum swinging a little too far to one side or the other. I have no standing to tell people what they should or shouldn't do or who they shouldn't do business with, but you can see that a really small group of companies have an immense amount of power.
Of course. I know we see that day in and day out. Shelly Palmer, thank you so much for joining us. We'll chat with you next week.
Always a pleasure.